right. Let's go to page 61 in your grammar book. So page 61. Okay, page 61. Today we're talking about verbs. You guys already know about verbs. You're good at that. And you know about action verbs, especially. That's when you're doing, when something in the sentence or someone in the sentence is doing something, like swimming or running. Okay, I see that, Liz. That's okay. An action, doing an action, right? That's when the subject in the sentence is doing something. You also know about linking verbs. We talked about those before, where you have a linking verb that links words together. And today we're going to talk about helping verbs. This is another type of verb you're going to be looking for in this book. And it says in this paragraph here, in week 9, you learned about action verbs. We know what those are. Week 10, you learned about linking verbs. We know what those are. We talked about like a chain, that has links on it. And then this week, you're going to learn about helping verbs. So there's 3 kinds of verbs. There's action, linking, and helping. A helping verb helps an action verb or a linking verb. The helping verb is always followed by another verb. The words below are the helping verbs. So right where it says memorize it, those words in dark right here, I want you to read those with me. You can stay muted because sometimes the Zoom has a delay. So we'll just stay muted, but read it with me in your room there, okay? So I'm going to read them all the way to the end. Ready, read. Am, is, are, was, were, be, being, been, have, has, had, do, does, did, may, might, must, can, will, shall, could, would, should. Okay, that's all of them. Those are the helping verbs. I saw you guys reading it, so good job. Here comes Ashlyn. I'll let her in. So these words come before an action verb usually. So they're right next to another verb. So what you're going to do in this book for grammar is find the helping verb in the sentence, and then you're going to look for the action or linking verb that the helping verb helps. To find the subject, you ask, who or what is doing that verb? That's how you find the subject. So it says to mark it, you're going to do the same thing you've been doing with the other verbs. Write a V above each verb and an S above each subject. So you have different types of verbs now, but they're all going to be in here. You're going to start labeling those. And they usually go with another verb, especially the helping verbs. They go with another verb. Okay, so look at this sentence right here. It says, the princess would steal to get the magic bag. So we know that verb steal. That means to take something that's not yours. It's an action, right? It's to take something, to steal it. But here we have the word would steal. That verb goes with this one. It's helping it. Would steal. So maybe she's not stealing right now, but she would steal. That's something she would do. Hi, Ashlyn. We're on page 61, okay? Okay. So you're going to mark steal as the action verb, but you're also going to mark would now as a verb. We were just talking about that, Ashlyn, about helping verbs. And then to find the subject, you ask who would steal? And it usually comes first. So you go backwards and the princess is right here. So it's the princess who would steal. So the subject is princess, would and steal are both the verbs together. They're helping each other. Okay, right there. We're also going to talk about the that clause. We have lots of clauses in English. You already know about the who, which clause. You already use that in your writing. That's pretty easy. This one's pretty easy too. It starts with the word that. So it says a that clause is a group of words that begins with the word that and contains a subject and a verb. By the way, all clauses do. All clauses, main clauses, and all the clauses you haven't even learned yet, they all have a subject verb pair in them, just so you know. it must be added to a sentence that is already complete. So if you took out the that clause by itself, it's not going to be a complete sentence. It has to go with another part of the sentence to make it complete. So in this book, you're going to mark it with placing parentheses around the that clause and write that above the word that. Write V above each verb and S above each subject. Here's your example here. She knew that she wanted the magic bag. There's that word that. It's easy to find because we know that word. You're going to put parentheses. See those little marks here around that and all the way to the end of the sentence around bag. And then you write the word that on top of the word that. I know it sounds weird, but that's how you label it. Okay. So put that on top of that. And then you're going to look for those verbs. This verb is wanted. So she knew that she wanted the magic bag. That's her action verb right there, is wanted. And then if you ask who wanted the magic bag, she wanted the magic bag. So it's right before that. That's the subject. She is the subject and wanted is the verb. And then when you look at this is like a giant comma. It's like oversized, supersized comma shape right here. It has an X over it because it's telling us that clauses do not take commas. So you don't have to worry about commas when you have a that clause. When you have a who which clause, you do have commas. So we've talked about that before, but not these, not the that clause. No commas there. And then at the very bottom, you see another handy dandy list of helping verbs, the same list that we just read up here. These are the helping verbs. So what I want you to do, if you have a Post-it note in your stuff at your desk, go ahead and get out some Post-it notes here. You're going to need to label this page. I like your shirt, Ashlyn. That's really cute. Okay, and take off one of them. And I want you to just in the middle of your page, just stick it upside down anywhere in the middle of your page so that the sticky part is down and then this part is not sticky. So stick it like upside down like that. Okay. And then on this end up here at the top, I want you to write helping verbs because this page will help you in your homework. If you get stuck on the verbs and you're not sure which ones to mark, you can come back to this page and then that'll help you. Helping verbs, that's what these are called. Okay, and then when you're done writing that on your Post-it note, you can stick it at the top of your page like this. It's okay if it covers up some of the words on the page, that's okay, but you want to stick it so that the words helping verbs sticks out the top side of the top of the page, okay? And the other thing I want you to do before we turn the page is just circle with your pen or pencil, circle that group of words right there and at the very bottom of the page. So that way, when you turn to that page, you'll remember, oh yeah, these are the helping verbs. This will help you in your homework if you get stuck on the verbs, okay? Thumbs up if you got that done. Okay, good. Okay, good. Let's turn the page to the practice page now. This is page 63. Does anybody feel like reading it today? Okay, Sawyer, go for it.
The second soldier remembered that he had told the story of the bag to the princess.
Okay, good. Nice reading. Our vocabulary word is remembered. That's when you think of something again, right? You think about it one time, but then you think about it again later. Or maybe it's something that happened to you, you remember. So remembered is our vocabulary. We can check that. It's actually a verb. It has ed at the end, so we know that. And we'll mark that in a minute. But let's look for the 4 articles. Remember, those are a, an, and the. You can do those by yourself. Go ahead and find those by yourself. There's 4 of them. Okay. And then Liz, when you're ready, help us find the 4 nouns.
Soldier,
Good,
bag,
good,
princess,
good.
and story.
Yes, and story. Good. Those are the 4 nouns. Very good. And then, Ashlyn, where is the pronoun?
He.
Good. And then there's an adjective. Sawyer, do you know where the adjective is?
What are adjectives again?
Good question. They are words that describe nouns. So by the way, I want you to put a note down here. Just write ADJ and then the equal sign. I'm gonna have everybody do this because you're not the only one that's still asking that. So a lot of students are still wondering what an adjective is. And then I want you to write which one, question mark, how many, and what kind. If you can ask one of those questions about a word, you're going to look at a noun and then ask one of those questions like which one, how many, what kind. So look at the nouns and see if you can find an adjective that
I
tells.
know one.
Okay, go for it.
A second.
Yes, that's the one. Very good. So ADJ. So that, come back to this page and look at that. If that helps you with adjectives, you can go back and look at that note right there. Very good. All right, I'm going to skip prepositional phrases. Those are kind of hard for me, so I like to wait till the end on that one. So I'm going to skip and go to the that clause. So Liz, do you see where the that clause is?
Close to remember.
It starts with that, and then where does the end of it go?
Princess.
Princess, all the way to the end. So that he had told the story of the bag to the princess. That's the whole clause. And remember, we're going to write that on top of that. That's how we're labeling that one. Okay. And then for Ashlyn, we have some verbs here. We have 1, 2, 3 verbs. Where are the action or helping or linking verbs?
Told and remember. Told.
And there's one that's a helping. What is it?
Um.
The helping verbs go right next to the other verbs. So do you see one right next to told?
Add.
There you go. Had. Had told. That's one of those helping verbs. We're going to label it with a V now. So had told goes together. So now that we know the verbs, good job, Ashlyn. Sawyer, let's find the subject. So when you see the word remembered, who remembered?
The soldier.
Good. And then who had told? In
The
the that.
princess?
No. Look, you're looking inside that clause. You're going to look before that. So who had told the story?
E.
Yes, there you go. So that's the best way to find the subject. It's usually before the verbs. Okay, so don't look past the verbs. You look before them. That's when you can find the subject. Very good. And now we've got prepositional phrases. So Liz, there's 2 of them. Do you see where they're at?
Of the bag.
Of the bag and
To the princess.
to the princess. Very good. So those are 2 prepositional phrases. Notice of doesn't have anything on top of it yet. That's a preposition. It goes to the noun of the bag, and then to doesn't have anything on top of it. That's the preposition. It goes to the noun princess. And you guys probably already know the capital. That's super easy right there. The first word and then the period at the end. Easy peasy cheesy. Check those off. Okay, good job. So when you're doing your homework later, if you forget what an adjective is, go back to this page and look at your note there that we did in class. That'll help you. All righty, let's get out your binders next and get out everything for King Midas in your front pocket there.
Hey, are we gonna do King Midas first or the camels first?
Oh, we already finished the camels.
I know, but you said, but last time camels, you said I could keep this stuff because I didn't get to read mine yet.
Oh, I'm glad you're reminding me. So yes, you can read it. If you want to read that, let's do that first. Let me stop this. Yes, we want to hear your camel story. So whenever you're ready, go ahead, Sawyer.
Um, okay. Humans used camels for millennia. They have been as a pack animals. Camels are mainly taught, no, wait, sorry. They have been mainly as a pack animal. Camels are taught to pull plows and wagons. Camel milk is highly nutritious. In Africa, camel urine is used as medicine. In the Middle East countries, camel meat is normally served in a feast. In Africa, nomads drink camel blood mixed with camel milk. Camel hair is light but strong. It is useful, it can make clothes and tents. In Arab, they symbolize camels, which mean endurance.
Wow, good job, Sawyer. Nice. I like that. It was really good. I heard the witch clause and I heard a couple LY words in there too. You did great with that. Very good. All right, we're going to move on now to King Midas. So remember we worked on this last week. This is the story sequence chart. We're going to keep going on this. You guys are going to finish King Midas this week. Yay, it's a good one. And remember, we were setting up this chart. I know this is kind of new to you. This is a story sequence chart. And remember how we talked about how in a good story or a movie or a book, they always start with the characters. I talked to you guys about Kung Fu Panda last week. Remember that when we talked about that? Yeah. So introducing the characters and the setting, that's like where the story takes place. That's really important in order to tell a story so that you know who they're talking about and where they are. And we already did that in the first paragraph. So instead of reading your first paragraph this week, when we come back after Thanksgiving break, you guys can share your story. Okay. But this, yes, I know you're excited. So you already talked about King Midas, how he was greedy and how he lives in a castle and there's luxury and gold and he wasn't happy and blah, blah, blah. He wanted more gold. And then the strange visitor came and they gave him one wish. That's where we left it off. But now we got to go to the next box here. And in the middle of a story, there usually is a problem or a conflict. If you think about Kung Fu Panda, the first one, I think it's true in all of them, but the first one, I think his name was Kai Li, right? That bad guy. He was like a big, is he a tiger or a leopard? I can't remember. He's like a wild cat, right?
Yeah, he's like a panther, maybe?
A panther. Okay, that's right. And
He's
he's
sort of
really strong. What's that, Ashlyn?
he's like a leopard, tiger, and like a panther
Like
together.
everything together? Yeah. He's strong. That's all we know is that he's powerful, right? And remember, he wants to take over the city. He wants to be in charge. He wants to have all the power. And Poe is battling him, right? And the Kung Fu team, all the crane, the snake, the tigress, the monkey, everybody's working together and they're fighting this guy because they don't want him to take over. So in this box, this is when you talk about the conflict. That's the first word next to the red line. Kind of write it small, slash, and then you're going to put that word problem. Try to squeeze that in. If you have to use the second line down, that's okay. But in the middle of a story, there we usually talk about the conflict and the problem. That makes the story interesting to read or the movie interesting to watch. And this is where we ask the question, what? Like, what does the character need? What does the character want? What is he saying or what is he doing? All of those kinds of questions, those what questions, usually happen in the middle of a story. And then, can you guess after we talk about the problem, like Kung Fu Panda, they're fighting, right? What's going to happen at the end? What do we usually talk about, or what usually happens at the end of a movie? Can you think about that? They have a problem and then they have to solve the problem, right? And I don't know about you, but I always like the movies that have happy endings. That's the kind I like to watch. I don't like the sad endings. They make me sad. I don't like watching sad endings. I like happy endings.
Like Charlotte's Web.
Yeah, like Charlotte's Web. That's a sad one. So at the end, usually we talk about this word, and I'm going to tell you what it means in a second, but it's climax. And then you're going to do slash and then resolution. Big words there. So try to squeeze that in. And this is where we answer the question, how? Like, how are they solving the problem? How? Well, we know in Kung Fu Panda, the first one, he's battling this guy, Kai Li, and Kai Li is totally beating up Po, right? He's getting punched and kicked and thrown, and he's like getting hurt, right? Po is like getting beat up really bad. And that's the part of the movie where you're like really watching, like, especially the first time you saw it, and you're watching, you're like, oh my gosh, I don't want Poe to get hurt. No, don't hurt Poe. And you're just like, yeah, like Liz, like, I don't even want to watch. I don't want him to get hurt. And you're sitting on the edge of your seat, like, what's going to happen? That's called the climax of the story. When you're not sure how it's going to end, is it going to be a good ending or a bad ending? So I'm going to have you draw a little picture in this box under that. I just want you to make like a really pointy mountaintop like that. Just it doesn't have to be perfect. This is a mountain with a point at the top, right? And then I want you to draw a little guy at the very top of your mountain. You remember this, Liz? We talked about this before, huh? I don't know if you remember. It was a while ago. On this side of the mountain over here, I want you to draw like a fluffy cloud. And on this side of the mountain at the bottom, I want you to draw like spikes, like really spiky, like that. Okay, so this is where, and I'm going to draw two arrows. I'm going to draw an arrow down that way, and I'm going to draw an arrow down this way. To me, it helps me remember climax means if the guy goes this way, he's probably going to die, right? There's all these spikes here. If he goes this way, he's going to land on a soft cloud and everything's going to be okay. So the climax is right here at the tippy top, like in the movie Kung Fu Panda, when they're fighting and they're battling and they're getting, and Po is getting beat up and he's getting hurt. And you're thinking, I don't want Po to go on this side because then he'll die. I want Po to win so he can be on the soft, fluffy cloud, right? So in the movie, though, this is cool. He remembers all of a sudden in the middle of this battle that he has the special power that nobody else has, right? Remember the wushu pinky hold, I think it was called, or something like that. And he moves his pinky and he goes skadoosh. You guys remember that part? Skadoosh. And then everything just goes like that. And then all the bad guys just fall over and they become weak and they can't fight anymore. And Poe wins. He's like the champion, right? And the whole city is saved and everybody's happy and they're like, yay, you did it. Right? It's a happy ending. I like that one. So that's the resolution. That's how he solves the problem. So here they're battling, they're fighting and all that. And then he finally realizes he has the power and he overcomes. Okay, that's the chunks of the story. We start out with characters and setting, we move into the problem, conflict in the problem, and then how it's resolved. It's the climax resolution. So now looking at King Midas, let's get that story out. Put this next to your chart here because we're going to work on this next. We left off with he gets this wish. So we're going to lead into the problem next. We're not just going to jump right into the problem because there's a little bit more that we need to explain. So Sawyer, we left off where the strange visitor came and he granted him one wish, What was the wish? What wish did King Midas want?
He wanted the touch of gold.
A touch of gold, meaning like whatever he touched, he
Turn
wanted
gold.
it to turn to gold. So how can we put that in 3 words right here? What do you think? How can we say in 3 words what his wish was?
Gold turned gold.
Gold turned gold, maybe, but it wasn't gold at first, right?
How about
Touch,
the
Touch.
touch, gold, and well, that's a hard one.
That's a hard one. What about
oh
the word? Oh, you got it, Sawyer?
Yeah,
what about
touch, gold,
um
happen.
Say it again.
what?
Oh, I thought you said a word. What was it that he wanted? He wanted to touch everything. He wanted
Yeah,
everything to turn. Okay, so let's put everything,
everything turned gold.
turn or touch. I kind of like Ashlyn's idea too, but if you like turned, you can put that instead. It's okay. You can put what you want, okay? I'm gonna put everything touch gold. And then I'm going to put it in quotes, meaning he's saying that, right? He's saying, I want everything I touch to turn to gold. That's what he's saying.
I was going to say gold, touch, and happen.
Okay, you can put that. That'll work, Ashlyn. So this is where you guys can kind of make your keyword outline your own. So if you want to copy mine, that's okay too. Either way, copy mine or you put it the way it makes sense to you. Okay. And then Liz, what did he start touching? What started turning into gold first? You can look back on the story if you need to. It's on the front page there.
A table, a
Mhm.
chair, a rug, and even his bed.
Even his bed. Okay, so we got to pick 3 things that turned to gold. What do you think we should pick, Liz? If you had to pick 3 words, or we could draw something.
Ooh,
If you want to draw something,
Um,
I have an
let me hear
idea.
Liz first, okay?
Okay.
we can do the table
A table, okay.
and maybe draw a chair.
Yeah, that would be easy.
Then the rug,
Yeah, we could write rug.
and then bed.
Okay, so I have an idea. Yes, I like that. Let's go back to the table. So, do you think he liked his table turning to gold? I kind of think he did. No, I think he did because he wanted gold and he's like, whoa, look at this table. This is awesome. I got a gold table. I bet he was really excited about that, right? I bet he really liked the gold table. So, what I'm going to do is put table and then I'm going to put a happy face here because he was happy about the table turning to gold. And then I like your idea, Liz, to draw a little chair. Just gonna draw a chair here. And the chair turned to gold. I kind of think he liked his chair gold too. I think he saw that and he's thinking, oh, that's so pretty. Look how shiny it's gold. It's perfect. I love it. This is exactly what I wanted. A golden chair. So he's happy about that. I'm gonna put a happy face. And then you said what was next? The rug. He probably liked the rug. I think maybe it was a little cold, you know how gold is a metal, so probably walking on it with his bare feet, he was maybe not sure about that, but I'm still gonna put rug and maybe a happy face here because he likes the golden rug. But now his bed. I mean, it probably was really pretty. But would you like to sleep on a golden bed? And Liz is like, no way, Jose. Because gold is like cold. That's the first thing that comes to my mind. And it's not soft, it's hard. It's like a metal, you know. So his nice pillow, you know how you like to lay your head on your pillow, it's all soft and it's like cozy. Well, it wasn't for him anymore. It was like metal and cold and hard. And he's probably like, ow, this doesn't really feel good. So I'm going to put a sad face here. I don't think he was happy about his bed. So that's some symbols you can use to kind of explain Okay, maybe he was happy about his table. He's happy about his chair, happy about the rug. Okay, now the bed. Uh-oh. And then after that, Ashlyn, what else turned gold? After he went through all the stuff in his house, then what turned gold?
Food. It's
That's
food.
food, yes. And there's something else that turned gold right before that.
And, um, um, the flowers.
Yes. Is that what you were going to say, Liz? The flowers? Yeah. So when the flowers turned to gold, what did he say about that? It says, but flowers lost their what? What did they lose, Ashlyn? Or you have to go somewhere?
Their color.
Their color
Now,
and smell. So it kind of sounds like he wasn't really happy about the flowers. So let's put flowers, and then I think I'm going to put a sad face here. I don't think he liked the flowers turning to gold. He was kind of sad about that. And then you're right, the food. The food. Was he happy about the food turning to gold? I wouldn't even want to try to eat something gold. That would break my teeth. No. Now, I think I want to add one more word here after the food. Ashlyn, what would be a good word to describe? Remember, they used it in the paragraph. It's a good word to describe how you couldn't eat it. Do you remember what the word was? He couldn't eat it.
it was inedible.
Inedible. That's a really good word. I think we should put that in here. Inedible means he cannot, it's not edible anymore. Inedible. It means he can't eat it. The food was inedible. And then, okay, by the way, what we're talking about right here is his problem, right? This is the box that talks about all of the problems going on. Well, he asked for the golden touch and it happened, it worked. And now he's got all these problems. Now he can't stop it. Now it's getting out of control. He's got these problems. So we're answering this question like, what did he ask for? Well, he asked for the golden touch. What happened? Well, the table, a chair, blah, blah, blah. All this stuff turned to gold. And then what happened that was the worst of all, Sawyer? What turned gold that was like the worst of all?
His daughter.
His daughter. Oh my goodness. All right. So his daughter turned into what, Sawyer?
Gold.
A gold statue. I'm going to put that word statue in here. I think we talked about how, like in that Chronicles of Narnia, I think it's the first one. Remember?
Oh, yeah, but it's
Yeah.
also in the second one as well.
Oh, it is. Yeah, you're right. It is. The witch, she turns things into stone, I think. And I remember when Tumnus turned into a stone and he was like, he had his mouth open, his hands were up. And it's like, I remember watching it the first time. I was like, no, not Mr. Tumnus. I like him.
And then the lion just breathed some air at him,
Just
and
went,
then he went and he came Mr. Thomas again.
yes, I was so happy. It was a good ending on that. That was good. But that moment, it's like I relate to this king, King Midas. He's thinking, oh my gosh, my daughter. And then so he says, no, in all capital letters. No, no, not my daughter. No. And you could put extra O's on there if you want to say no. That was his biggest problem. Good job. Yes. I like all the no. Good job. So this is the box that talks about the problem. Definitely talked about that. He's got kind of a lot of problems right now. So now we got to move into this part. And remember this little amount.
Show you how many O's I put down.
How many did you do?
Let me see. 1,
Let me see yours, Ashlyn.
5.
Whoa, that's a lot. Did you put a bunch of O's too? Oh yeah, I see those. Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot of O's. All right, we're at the point here. We're moving into the climax. Remember, the climax is here. So we don't know, is his daughter going to be a statue forever? That's like this side. That's the bad side, right? Or is his daughter going to be okay? That's the good side. Like everything's going to be okay. We know the end of the story already, but that's what that means, that climax, that point of the story where we don't know. Is it going to be good? Is it going to be bad? I don't know. Okay. So at this point, I want you to look at the bottom. This is for Liz. After all this happens, right? There's a word here after his daughter turns into gold. This last sentence. Can you read the last sentence? Starts with how, right here.
How deeply he regretted the horrible wish he had made.
Good. Regretted. Do you know that word regret? Do you know, have you heard of that word before? Yeah. It's probably happened to you before. It's when you feel really bad about something, maybe on Halloween, or maybe I know some of you don't celebrate Halloween, but maybe when you're eating candy or cookies or cake or something sweet and you love it so much you eat a bunch of it and then you regret it. Because what happens to your stomach if you eat too much sugar?
You get a stomach ache.
Yes, and that has happened to me multiple times, so I understand. You too, Sawyer? I know it's hard to stop. When it's really good, it's like, oh, I want more, I want more. And then it's like, ooh, okay, ow, I don't want any more, no more.
But it was with other kinds of food, not
Other
sweets.
kinds of food, maybe pizza. It's happened to me
Okay,
with pizza before, or like French fries. You start going on the
pasta.
fries.
Can I tell you something really secret?
Sure.
I'm eating 2 meals a day now.
You are
In breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
3 meals a day?
6.
Oh, six. So you eat 2 breakfasts, 2 lunch, and 2 dinners? Whoa, you must be growing. I think that's what's happening.
Because I just turned 9.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because when your body grows, it's like using up all that food, and so you got to put more in there, right? That makes sense. That's a
And
good.
one time I ate so much that I got the stomach ache.
Yeah. Does that happen to you too, Ashlyn? Where you,
My body just wanted more, and then it just made me stop for a second.
oh, your stomach knows how to tell you to stop. It really does. So you got to listen to that. If your stomach starts feeling funny or it starts hurting, then you know, oh, I better just stop right here. I don't want to eat anymore. Okay, so that is what regret means. If you regret eating too much pizza or regret eating too much candy, that's what that means. So he regretted. What did he regret? What did he regret? It wasn't about eating. How about Ashlyn? What did he regret?
The wish he made.
The wish he made. Yes. So back to you, Liz. I think you were helping us with this one. So he regretted the horrible wish he made. So I think we need that regretted word. And then what else can we put, Liz, with regretted there? Regretted what?
Wish he
His
made.
wish he made. There's a good word here, horrible. Can we use that one?
Yeah.
Maybe regretted, horrible wish. If you have another way to put that, you can put it different on yours, however you want to put it. But this is now getting into the resolution, like how he solved it. So after he regretted it, Ashlyn, who came back to his castle? Who came back?
The strange J. The visitor.
Strange. He was called a strange visitor, right? And what did the strange visitor say to do, Ashlyn?
Um, go to like that lake or something, that
A
river,
river. Uh-huh. And do what?
and like wash his hands.
Wash. Good. I think we should put that word wash. I'm going to put it in quotes because that's what he says to do. Go wash your hands in the river. So he says, go to the river to wash. Actually, let's draw some water right here. That'll help us remember it's a river. And then Sawyer, okay, so he runs to the river, right? He runs there as quick as he can. And then what happens when he puts his hands in the water?
Let me see.
It's on the back at the top. After he puts his hands in the water, what happened?
Then he picked up a rock.
Before that, right before that.
He saw gold light flowing from his hands into the water.
Yes, that part. So how can we put that on the keyword outline with 3 words? And we can draw some too.
A light, because we know it's already gold touch.
Okay, we already know it's gold. Okay, light.
So lights. Water is a good one.
Yeah.
And maybe flowing.
Yeah. I like that.
And then we could just draw some like a hand.
Okay. So light, flowing, hand, 4, 5. My hand looks funny. Looks like I'm doing the peace sign. Peace out.
You could just draw a forehand like this. A forehand.
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. Flowing hand into the water. I guess we could write water. So he saw light flowing from his hand into the water. I bet your hand looks better than my hand. Hands are hard to draw a little bit. Let me see yours, Liz. You're an artist, so oh yeah. Yeah, see, you know how to do a good hand. Okay, and then Liz.
What about this one? Mine looks more like a paw. Mine looks like a paw. 3.
So does mine. Mine looks like a paw. Let me see yours. Hold it up to the. Oh, it just has 3.
Yeah, just like right here.
Oh yeah. That's okay, as long as you know it's a hand. Let me see yours, Ashlyn. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, there you go. Okay. Then Liz, so then that came out of his hands, and then what did he do next? What happened after that?
He picked up a rock and it remained a rock.
Yes. So what happened to the golden touch?
It was gone.
It was gone. So how can we put that for number 3?
We can draw a walk
A rock, okay.
and remain.
Yeah.
Then we could put gone because I don't know what
Yeah.
it's talking about.
Yeah, I like that. Gone. And the other thing we need to talk about is the daughter. She was normal again, right? So maybe we should say something about her. So everything kind of went back to normal, right?
We can draw. We can draw her.
Maybe draw her like a girl.
Yeah.
Okay. So you want to draw a rock and then put the word remained. Okay. And if you guys have a different way of doing it, you can put it the way that makes sense to you. Okay. You don't have to do it exactly like this one. And then gone, because the golden touch was gone. And maybe draw a little girl. I'm going to draw like a stick figure girl. I usually use a triangle like for a dress. And then normal. His daughter was normal. Oh, he was so glad about that. For sure. This is a rock. So the rock remained, the golden touch was gone, and the daughter went back to normal. So this is how this is getting resolved. So how is what we're answering here, because he put his hands, the stranger came back, told him what to do. He went to the river, he washed his hands, the gold came out. Everything's okay now. But I feel like we need to add a little bit more. Let me see. Oh yeah, that's good. That looks good. We need to add a little bit more because I think it would be good to wrap up our story about how the king changed, right? The king was not greedy anymore at the end. Ashlyn, how can we explain? Maybe let's put a number 4 here. We're going to add a little bit more on this one if you have space. Put a 4 there. And then Ashlyn, what do you think? What happened to the king at the end? He wasn't greedy anymore. What happened?
He put like a knot and like a cross in it, like we did with happy. So it could be like a symbol, sort of.
Okay. Over what word?
Not. So like, cause it's not.
Not. Oh, just a circle with a line to represent not.
Yeah.
Okay. And then what?
And then like greedy.
Okay.
Um,
So like this, not, and then greedy.
yeah.
You mean? Okay. Oops.
And then um any more maybe?
And what?
Any more?
Any more? Maybe. I think because we only have space for 2 more words. What are some new words to describe the king at the end?
Um,
There's some new words there that they describe him with that are really good. This is at the back by the picture at the very end down here. There's some good adjectives to describe him at the end. I see your hand, Sawyer. Hang on just a second. See if she can find.
grateful.
Yes. Is that what you were thinking, Sawyer? That's one word. Grateful
I was thinking generous.
and generous. That's a good one. We could put, I kind of like that. What do you guys think? Grateful and generous? Yeah. Let's put it here. Grateful just means he was thankful now. And then generous, who knows what that word generous means? What is generous? Generous means he gave people maybe money or supplies or clothes or food. He loved to give people things. So remember at the beginning, he was greedy, which means he didn't want to get rid of anything. He wanted to keep it all. But at the end, he became generous. That's a big change for a person to come from not wanting to give anything away to now he's giving things away, right? He's blessing people. He's being generous to people around him. And the last thing I think we should add here is a heart. I know you guys like to draw little hearts. And that means he was loved by all the people. That's what it says at the end. He was loved by all his people. And that's a nice way to wrap it all up. Okay.
I draw an arrow through the heart.
Oh, that's cute. You can do that. So now you guys are ready. Notice how we started with this characters and setting. You already did that paragraph. Now you're going to write paragraphs 2 and 3. Sawyer, did you have a question?
Yeah. Are we gonna read the little story we created? Gonna read it?
No, because I want you to finish it first. And then when we come back after the break, I'm going to have you guys read all 3 paragraphs. Yeah.
Okay, so
Because that'll be fun to hear your whole story. So what I was going to say is, what's that?
there's 7 paragraphs to do now.
Yeah, you have 2 more to do. It's going to be easy because it's all done. It's ready for you right here. You're just going to write these sentences. So you already did this one. We talked about the characters and setting. Then the middle paragraph is going to be about the problem. And we know that he had a lot of problems in the middle. Everything was turning to gold everywhere. And then the worst was his daughter. Those were the problems he had, the conflicts and the problems here. And then the climax. Oh my goodness, he regretted his horrible wish. And then the resolution is how it was solved. So his problems were solved because the stranger came back and gave him a solution, right? Now he could go wash his hands and be done with that wish. So that's the order of how the story sequence goes. Characters and setting, problem, solution, or conflict, problem here, and then climax, resolution here. So that's how it goes. Now, let's look at your checklist, because I want to remind you that this is how I grade your homework. This is page 51. It should be in the front pocket of your binders. Page 51.
I finished all of the checks.
Okay, well, you shouldn't have checked anything for paragraphs 2 and 3 because you haven't written those yet.
Yeah, I just did I left these 4 2 on the ly adverb and 2 on the who which clause left.
Okay, those are blank. Okay, so that's all you have left. Well, and you probably didn't check the third box down, which is the title, right? Because you don't have a title yet, or you shouldn't have a title.
Yeah, I accidentally forgot that I'm not supposed to do a title, so I put the wish.
Oh, okay. That's
It was
still
part of the wish.
okay. It might still be a good title, but let's look at that right here. Title centered and repeats 1 to 3 keywords from final sentence. So that's your last sentence. So like when you're writing this last paragraph, it's going to be this sentence way down here about how he wasn't greedy anymore and he was great, generous. So that is what you're going to use to make your title. Go ahead, Sawyer.
I already thought of a title right now.
You thought of a new one?
Yeah.
Which one you want to do?
The generous king.
Yes, that's a good one. I like that. Is that what you were thinking too, Liz? The generous king? No, do you have a title that you might use yet? You don't know yet. Okay, you can wait. You don't know till you get to the very, very end, but that's a good one. I like that title. And then let's see. It says here, story follows story sequence chart. So you just want to make sure that you're using these for each sentence, okay? Because we made this together and you want to use those for your sentences. And then you do need, like Sawyer said, 1 ly adverb and 1 who which clause in paragraph 2 and paragraph 3. And you're going to underline those words. Don't forget that part. So if you use an ly, make sure you underline it. And then when you use who or which, make sure you underline it. Okay, any questions about your checklist here? Okay, so if you forget something on here, I might take a point off. So really, really use this. Don't forget anything. Because then you can get your full 10 points. But I have an idea though right now. I wonder if we can kind of brainstorm a little bit about where we can put ly adverb. Did you have a question or something to say, Sawyer?
Why do we need points again? I forgot
Points.
why we need points.
It's like a grade, you know, when you get a grade in school.
I'm homeschooled.
Yeah, I know you guys are all homeschooled, but still, you get points because that tells me that you're doing all the things that I want you to do. So each thing has a point. So I give you 10 points. So if you get all this, if you remember to do all this in your paragraphs, I'm going to give you 10 points. If you do everything but you forgot an ly adverb, I might give you 9 points.
I put
Like a
everything.
score. Huh?
I put everything that my first sentence in my 3 first sentences. I put everything there, capitalization and marks and punctuations.
Yep. So you got 10 points. So if you remember everything like that, then you get 10 points. But it's like a game almost. You get all the points if you do it right. If you forget anything, I might take off a point, so you get 9 points. But here's the thing. If you get 9 points or 8 points or something like that, you can always go back and fix it and then turn it back into me, and then I'll give you 10 points. So I always make sure I give you a chance to fix it. Does that make sense? If you forget anything, you can always go back and fix it. But let's look here in paragraph 2. Let's think about this last part where the daughter turns into a statue and he's yelling, no. What's an ly word we could use to tell how he was yelling? Like the daughter turned into a statue and the king somethingly yelled, no. What do you think we could put there just to brainstorm some ideas of ly words? Somethingly yelled. You have an idea, Liz?
Sadly.
Sadly, that would work. Sadly yelled, no.
Oh,
Do you have one, Sawyer?
I was thinking, what was it? Shoutly said no.
I know where you're going with that, but shoutly isn't quite a word. But what if you said loudly? That would work, huh? Loudly yelled. He loudly yelled, no. So if you like, I'm just going to make a note over here next to that. Actually, let's put it like right underneath it. If you want to put loudly, I'm just going to put it right here to help me remember and then put it in parentheses. But if you like sadly, that would work like Liz's idea, or shockingly or quickly yelled, no, something like that. So there's lots of ly words you can use there, but that was just one I was thinking of. So that's just a note for you to remember. That's a good spot for one. But we are out of time. So good job, you guys. So for your homework this week, you're going to write paragraphs 2 and 3 using this and using your checklist. Okay. And then you're going to turn it in by next week. You can turn it in by Wednesday. And then we don't have class next week. Okay. So we're going to take a break. And then we won't have any homework after that until you come back in December. Okay. Oh, that's
So,
cute, Liz.
like the